Woo! Somebody had too much sugar tonight. It can mean only one thing, and that one thing is that I've had way too much caffeine and too much sugar. I am wound up. I don't even want to leave Mike hanging in the back. Mike, you asked me, did I eat any candy before the show? I 100% did eat a lot of candy before the show.
That's the best bud.
Oh, it's Nicholas Cage. Oh, Greg, the editor, already corrected my mistake. And also, hello, Greg. Nice to see you there. Yes. I've been told by multiple people that I had a typo or 3 in the show header, but that's what it is when you do the show all by yourself, right, Mike?
Exactly.
You just get tanked up on sugar and caffeine.
That's what gets you through the day, and that's just fine.
What do you do to rev up for the show, Mike? What do you do to get that extra burst of energy like you have right now?
I open my eyes.
You open your eyes. Your asymmetric eyes? Is that what we're doing?
My one droopy eye.
Now I can't unsee it. Mike, you just pointed out that you have an asymmetric eye.
Yeah, it's weird. I never noticed it before, and now it's unseeable.
Now it's oops, I didn't mean to do that. Now you can't stop seeing. And also you have a new webcam. You're nice. You're very sharp.
Nice and crystal clear. It's a new webcam. It's some sort of HD thingamabobber, and yeah.
Guaranteed to make your eye look even worse when you're
you got the droopy eye. It points it out even more.
And also that top down shows me that you haven't cleaned the room in a while, huh? That top down view. You got to make the bed or something.
What do I need to clean the room for?
Hey, look at that. Mrs. Scalera just popped on.
Janet.
I've had a few Red Bulls. I have had a few Red Bulls. And redheaded red, right? Hype now, looking for those leftover Twizzlers. You know what? Twizzlers, even hard and stale, are still Twizzlers.
They're better than Red Vines, no matter what their state.
No matter what it is, they are still better than Red Vines. And Glenn Gatilla, he's got his COVID booster. He's the opposite of this right now.
Yeah,
Glenn, we hope to inject you. Let me just rephrase that. Glenn, we hope to energize you with the same Red Bulls that Mrs. Scalera pointed out that I have. Twizzlers belong in beer. I have had Twizzler straws in beer and in soda, and they are just as nauseating as it probably sounds like they would be. Yeah, Glenn, feel better, man. Feel better. We do hope you feel better. And Patrick Lugo, hey, guys, I've got a new name to add to that last. Daniel Wu, star of Enter the Badlands, just launched his Kickstarter campaign today. That means we have to get into the show, Mike.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have to get into the show because Lugo's not going to let us get off easy. Lugo was a guest and now a friend of the show. Mike, we're going to be talking about comic books that have been written by celebrities, not comics that have been made based on movies that starred celebrities, but actual celebrities who have gone off and written their own comic book. They have created a new intellectual property. I'm going to tell you why it's important for the creative audience that is watching right now. How does that sound to you, Mike?
It sounds interesting. I'm reading this list. Jennifer Love Hewitt did a comic.
You also drink Red Bull anymore. Red Bull's delicious. And if you have sugar-free, you can drink as much as you want. Never get fat. That's how I stay so slim. I'm at your father's. He said hello. Hello, Dad. My dad is not feeling well, but my wife is there taking care of him. So hello, Dad. Say hi. Wait, hold on. Go full screen. Say hello to my dad, Mike.
Hi, Mr. Scalera. Hope you feel better.
Yes, he helped instill the passion for comic books. My father was an artist, taught me how to draw, still draws better than me at 87 years old, and I'm glad that he's watching the show.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
man.
So back to the show, Mike. So
Yeah.
you are similarly amazed at how many famous people, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But first, the news. Good friends of the Comic Book School show, Howie Chaykin, who was very graceful in doing a separate educational session for the Comic Book School students during COVID, and Mark Waid, who's appeared many times on Comic Book School panels, are going to be appearing at UCLA, Mike,
Really?
November
That's
18th.
up the street.
That is right. They're doing a full day show at UCLA, and I've put the URL at 7 Lafayette / comic book U. If you go to 7 Lafayette, you'll get some details on it. It is a full day course on writing comics. And Mike, I hope you attend because you could probably walk there.
I easily could walk there, and I will definitely check that out.
I mean, you wouldn't do it, but you could possibly.
That's effort, bud.
Do it, yes. So, yeah, I got Hamill. I spelled Mark Hamill wrong. Actually, it's funny here. Hold on, let me just show you real quick. This is funny because I did a classic mistake. Right there in the middle it says Mark Hamill with 2 M's, so I kind of jammed what is it? John Hamm and Mark Hamill together in one mashup name.
Why not? They are
why
almost
not?
The same person.
Hey, Papa Scalera, hope you get better soon. Yes, Dad. See, well wishes. People want you to get better. So walking is loser talk for losers. That means Greg would not walk with you to go to this event. So anyway, check it out. These are friends of Comic Book School, 2 comic book legends teaching a class on creating comics and graphic novels. I wish I could go. I hope you can go and represent Comic Book School, Mike. And if anybody from Comic Book School goes, please report back and let us know what we missed. How's that sound, Mike?
Sounds good. I'll wear my Comic Book School shirt.
As you should. They couldn't use Comic Book School. They had to use Comic Book U, as you can see.
Close enough.
Yeah.
As long as there's comic book somewhere written somewhere.
Fresh reminder that we'll be hosting 2 panels at New York Comic Con this year. Creator Connection on Saturday, October 14th from 3:30 to 4:30, and the Portfolio Workshop and Review. This is a very special one. We'll be talking about what creators should include and not include in their portfolio, but also we'll be doing a live review of at least one portfolio, maybe 2 or 3, telling you exactly what you did wrong in your portfolio. This is not for the faint of heart, Mike. This is sort of like live American Idol. We will literally open a portfolio with the person's permission and agreement, and we will talk to them about what's good and not good in their portfolio. So if you are a creator, and I know you probably are, you should definitely add this to your agenda for New York Comic Con 2023 this year with Comic Book School. How's that sound, Mike?
That sounds good. I won't be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Got to be there in spirit. So this is, oh crap, I forgot my badges yesterday. I got a post about that. See you guys in NYC soon, said Redheaded Ed. Redheaded Ed, be sure to reach out to me directly. Keep all your typos in one place, I always say. Look, Lugo. Look at Lugo. He actually did it.
Did there? See that?
Yeah, I auto-corrected in my mind, but I knew he was going to add a typo. Okay, what do we have? So topping off the news today. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. I got news music here. Hold on a second. Just give me a second.
Yeah, you gotta have that little keypad where you can just hit a button.
Is this it? No,
that's not news.
I actually had a news sound thing. Anyway, I'm not sure if you noticed that. Yep, see you soon. I don't know if you heard about this, Mike. Bill Willingham, world famous writer of the comic book series Fables, one of the storylines and collected editions that I always recommend to new readers. It's basically based on traditional fables, reimagined in the modern day. And it starts off with a murder mystery of a murder in Fabletown. Now, the core idea behind this is that they took, I guess, public domain characters and then customized them and made them really interesting and modern. Told some wonderful stories with some fabulous artists. But the relationship between Bill Willingham and DC Comics, according to Bill Willingham's post, had deteriorated so badly that he found that he had nothing left to do, or maybe nothing left to lose, but to declare that the Fables is now in public domain, and you, me, and everyone else can take Fables and make our own comic books. Now, that doesn't mean that you can take the current stories of Fables or anything that's been done and reprint them, because those are copyrighted. But the characters themselves, according to Willingham, are now in the public domain. And of course, DC Comics responded with, hold my beer. I have we have to address this. And of course, reading off, as of now, 15 September 2023, which I thought was a nice little flourish of putting the number in front of the September. I think that's a European thing. The comic book property called Fables, including all related Fables spin-offs and characters, is now in the public domain, says Bill Willingham. And of course, DC Comics, in a rare response, they don't generally make responses like this. Quote, the Fables comic books and graphic novels published by DC and the storylines, characters, and elements therein are not in the public domain. This is a much abbreviated version of Hold My Beer, but they pretty much say that Fables is not in the public domain. Mike, what are your thoughts about what's going on here with Fables?
Well, with Fables, yeah, I mean, since it is published by DC, Willingham can't just say, oh yeah, here's everything. You can use it whatever you want. It's can't be done because DC would have to approve that since they are the ones that published it.
So I have followed this with great fascination. There are certain properties that are owned by DC Comics that are creator-owned. Willingham has paperwork that says this is a creator-owned property. DC has paperwork that says that this is not a creator-owned property. There are DC Comics, particularly Vertigo Comics, that are creator-owned properties. But if you think about what Willingham has done, he has, well, number one, genius stroke. I mean, if nothing else, people will be going out and buying the back issues just in case it's going to public domain. So his royalties will go up. But his contention is that DC, this is his contention, that DC has not been transparent with their royalties, has not been good to work with. And in general, Willingham, now I believe 67 years old, says, I don't have the time to fight this through court. So the heck with it all. He threw it up in the air and said, now you all own it. To which I told everybody in the comic book school community, hey, maybe you're a co-owner of Fables. And then a day later, DC said, no, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, if he does have some contract or paperwork that says it is a creator-owned book, then yes, but I would guess no.
Yeah, and there's an irony here, and Redheaded Ed points it out, but all of the stories are based off of stories that were in the public domain for hundreds of years, so how close do the characters and stories have to be to his version? That's a really good question, right? So Big B Wolf, Big Bad Wolf, is the sheriff of Fabletown, and fables that have a strong following and belief, like Snow White and some of the others, are the strongest, and those that can hide themselves can live in plain sight. But then there's a fable farm where if you look like a toad or you're a talking frog or a talking pig, you can't live among what they call, norms or whatever. So that's the twist that Bill Willingham put on this. And Fables is definitely a property. Like these are real characters, even though they are based on existing fairy tales.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who wants to go back and use one of the fairy tales that are in public domain can just use them and tweak them to however they want, just like he did here.
It's fascinating stuff, but I don't think that this is the end of the story. Fascinating nonetheless. And here's an important thing for all of you to know who is, hold on, James McGill says, good example, Wizard of Oz is in the public domain. Wizard of Oz, the movie, is not. Well said, James. People can use Dorothy in silver shoes. They cannot use Dorothy in ruby shoes. So I'm assuming that silver shoes are in the book and that ruby shoes. Is that right, Mike? Or you're a big shoe guy.
Yeah,
right?
the silver shoes were the book. The ruby shoes are the movie.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Did you know that prior to him typing that?
I did.
Oh, you did. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and let's get serious. I'm going to come up. Let's get serious here for a minute.
It probably should just be you on screen talking.
Let me just tell you, Mike, you've worked in Hollywood and have written professionally for many, many years. I've written for comics for many, many years. I think the key thing is that we idealize what the experience will be like. We believe that once we have a hit, they will treat us like some sort of royalty. When we're making money for them, they will treat us better. And when our star, invariably, there's an arc to everybody's popularity, they will continue to treat us well. Mike, this is not true in comics, nor is it true in Hollywood, is it?
This is not true at all. It's a fantastic dream, and everyone has it, but I would say 99% of the time is not anywhere close to what actually happens.
It is not. And I think the lesson here is that there's a famous phrase that I think is attributed to Jack Kirby, which is comics will break your heart, kid.
Yep, as will.
I don't know if it's Kirby, but the reality is comics will break your heart no matter what wide-eyed joy you go in with. They will beat it out of you at some point or another. You will invariably feel like you're mistreated, and some people are mistreated. The reality is in Hollywood and in comics, the supply of talent far exceeds the number of seats there are. The strike continues in Hollywood for writers just wanting to make a fair wage, right?
Yeah. And the big companies are just about making money. It's not
that's what they do. That's their, they're not there to be, anything other than making money for their shareholders. Let's not pretend we don't understand how capitalism works. That's how it works.
Yeah. And they will do anything they can to keep, their budget and the money that they make in their own pocket.
Yeah. So Lugo asks, is that also the same with Winnie the Pooh shirt/no shirt? Does Winnie the Pooh generally go topless in the books?
No, he usually goes with his shirt, I believe, or I think with his shirt. Yeah. So the Winnie the Pooh books, you can use anything from the books, but you can't use like the animated shows, the cartoons, anything like that.
I feel like in general, Patrick Lugo wants to know if we could use characters with or without shirts.
Well, that's
he's going to name all wholesome characters. Can I use them without a shirt on? No. All right. What else do we have? Gatilla says, yeah, and a really bad horror movie. I think the COVID's getting to him, Mike.
They did a Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Oh, they did. That's right. Yeah. So we could probably use the characters at square one. We can't make reference to any of the stories Bill wrote. I think Bill wrote in his post. Trademark law is very mishmash. I'm paraphrasing. Yes, he doesn't have a shirt in the books. James is like on tonight. James is like Wikipedia on steroids. And poor Gatilla, he is like, oh, there it is. He just repeated what he said. And Lugo, no shirt in the original illustration. Lugo hunting old children's books to see what characters are wearing shirts. Lugo, you're making me uncomfortable here.
Going down a rabbit hole.
You're just going to have to come back on the show again and defend all these comments. He's a stuffed bear, no clothes. Disney's character design has a red shirt copyrighted. There you go. Redheaded Ed knows. She knows a lot about animation. Actually, he's an animator. Oh, there you go.
Oh, it is.
Blood and Honey. There you go.
Honey. Yep.
Blood and Honey. Because we forgot the name of the Pooh horror movie. The Pooh horror movie. Okay, Mike. Whoa. Well, let's just get right into it. There are a lot of comic books that are written and or co-created by famous actors and actresses, and I wanted to highlight a few of them and what we need to know as comic book creators. So, Keanu Reeves, well known from, everything. My favorite of the John Wick movies. Absolutely think he's a terrific actor. but he turned out and co-created a story with Matt Kint. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it was fantastic. I think I raved about it in an early episode. Every issue was wonderful. Ron Garney, one of the top talents in comic books, just completely killed it. It was basically about, if you've ever read The Eternal Warrior by Valiant Comics, is very much like this. This guy, since the dawn of time, is unkillable and is now like a military asset, but he starts discovering things about his past. Looks remarkably like Keanu Reeves.
Very much.
Right?
And yeah.
Now, here's the thing, Mike. It was a great comic. They broke every record at San Diego in the biggest hall for the announcement. There's been an announcement of a movie. Keanu Reeves, at least supposedly, is tagged as writing it, rather as directing it. Might be his first directing credit. But obviously had a story to tell, was able to create his own intellectual property, and then get it made as a comic book for comparably much less than it would cost to create even a pilot. So the one thing I really wanted to point out, now the next few will be a better illustration of this, but do you know who Bill Crabtree, Clem Robbins, and Raphael Grandpa are?
I do not.
Right. The point I'm going to be making throughout these is that when these creators are making comics, many of them will collaborate with established and or up-and-coming comic book talent or completely unknown comic book talent. So I've put all the credits there, but note that like you as a creator who's watching this show could possibly bump into somebody and tell them what you do, or a friend of a friend says, oh, I know so-and-so actor, and they would love to talk about comics. You could be the person that brings that to life. You could be assigned to write it, or you could, bring talent in. I think the key thing here is that they may not have the network that you think they have. They have the network in Hollywood. They may not have the network in comics to get the right talent to make their idea come alive.
And you could be it.
And you can be it. So Berserker, I can personally attest, was a lot of fun. I haven't gotten this yet. I am going to check it out. Jamie Lee Curtis. I know nothing about this other than it's Jamie Lee Curtis. I've seen a couple of photos floating around on the internet. I'm going to see if I can get her to come on the show. Yeah. But once again, I don't know who Russell Goldman is, and I don't know who Carl Stevens is. They could be top talent that I just don't know, or they could be emerging talent who were lucky enough to get assigned to something and align themselves with Jamie Lee Curtis. Apparently, she is writing or co-writing it. I think that's amazing, isn't that?
It's pretty impressive. Apparently, it's also soon to be a major motion picture.
Right. And I think that that's a really important thing. I would imagine that every one of these creators has a role that could possibly align to them, right? And they're first in line. They're like, I own the intellectual property, right? Could she be Mother Nature? Could she be the mother of Mother Nature?
Yeah. And the comic is a great way to go because it's storyboarded out already.
It's storyboarded out. It tells them exactly what it is, and it's a lot easier to flip through than a script.
Yeah.
Emelia Clarke. Oh, I repeated the name somehow. Sorry about that. Emelia Clarke. Love her from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
What was her character's name? I just blanked.
Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Daenerys Targaryen.
And she was also I don't think she was cast correctly as Sarah Connor, honestly.
No, not really, but I did enjoy that last Terminator movie.
Right. She was not cast right as Sarah Connor, but I have to say she rose above the material. She was good. I mean, you can't help but like cheer for Emelia Clarke.
Yeah.
And then she I'm really embarrassed that I doubled the name, but maybe it's Emelia Clarke. Maybe that's her full name.
But people with the exact same names.
This was a trippy book. It was really out there. It was not your standard straight line narrative, as you can see even from the cover art. It's surreal and trippy, and I think the reality is she worked with a well-known creator, Marguerite Bennett. I'm not sure about Isabel Richardson. Honestly, I don't know if that's I'm not as deeply enmeshed in current creators these days, Mike. But I just think it's really cool that somebody was able to align. Emelia Clarke, I would imagine, had an idea, worked with Marguerite Bennett to develop it, and then have it illustrated, I think, by Isabel Richardson. But I see on the cover it says Layla Leitz. I think I did a bad job of copy and pasting. My apologies to the creators.
Way to go, bud. Way
to go. And then he asks, is that going to be an ongoing theme? Soon to be a motion picture? Yes, it will be. I would imagine that these creators, by the sheer weight of their star power. We had Patton Oswalt and Jordon Blum actually on this very show. If you haven't seen it, we'll add to it in the show notes. But Patton and Jordon were working on a show called MODOK, very, very funny show. And they, I guess, decided that they were going to do their own superhero team, created their own universe. And Mike, they are now building out spin-off stories, one-shots, and other miniseries on top of the Minor Threats universe.
That was good. I actually enjoyed that comic. It was very funny, very good stories. And I would like to read more about the individual characters if they're doing the one-shots.
Yeah, and Jordon was a producer, but Patton Oswalt has this huge name in the industry and crosses over television, film, animation, but they actually still had to put out a good comic. But once again, are you familiar with Scott Hepburn or Ian Herring? Nope. But this was a great opportunity. And hopefully it exposed their names to millions of other people. And I hope people will check out the episode. It's there on the Tubes of You on YouTube. Rosario Dawson. Have you ever seen anything where Rosario Dawson wasn't great?
I have not.
I have not either. I think Rosario Dawson is underrated.
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff, and she is good in everything I've seen her in.
Yeah. Now, is it any surprise? By the way, this comic I found is like 10 years, maybe 15 years old.
Really?
Yeah, it just sort of passed by. I was doing some research. It looks like her, right?
Yeah.
So you could see her playing. Is it pronounced Rosario or Rosario?
Rosario, I believe.
Is it with the Z sound?
I think it's a Z.
Let's get her on the show.
Yes, get her on the show. She'll tell us.
Right. She's not good. She's not bad in anything, but she would be bad on this show because this
show
is terrible.
I think she would raise the level of this show, at least for one episode.
Right. When Patton Oswalt was on, we went up. Anytime we have a guest, we go up. But once, hold on. ROSARIO. Okay. I want to get it right because when she comes on the show, I want to say ROSARIO. Like that with the hyphen. So, Mike, there are lots and lots of other comics for you to explore. So, Rashida Jones, well-known television actress from The Office, right? She was on The Office, wasn't Rashida Jones? No, what was Rashida Jones on? Parks and Recreation?
I don't know Rashida Jones. Don't know her.
Oh, all right. We'll Google that real quick. You know who Samuel Jackson is? Looks remarkably like him.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill came out with the Black Pearl, Mike, when we were still working at and now Anthony's throwing in Rosario.
Oh boy.
Rosario. Now, Anthony Pierce works in Hollywood like you, Mike. So I'm going to put a lot of weight behind that. And then, Anthony, while you're at the keyboard, what is Rashida Jones in? I'm sorry, I just blanked. Your wife will be sitting behind you to make sure you behave yourself. I always behave myself. Part of the problem. Mark Hamill came out with the Black Pearl from Dark Horse Comics. It's actually, it's about 20, 25 years old. It's really good. I reread it recently. It holds up, and it's a good story, and he wrote it himself. I did not know that Jennifer Love Hewitt wrote a comic book.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I wouldn't have ever guessed she would be into comics.
There you go. James Parks and Rec, both The Office and Parks and Rec for Rashida Jones.
Okay.
Hold on.
You got to Google her now?
I'm gonna pull up images of Rashida Jones just because we gotta do this the right way, Mike.
I don't know who Gerard Way is either.
Well, that you should know.
I don't know.
Window, Rashida Jones, Chrome tab, Rashida Jones. That's Rashida Jones.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I
See?
know Rashida Jones.
She was in yeah, Parks and Rec. And all right, I gotta get the slides back up. Vamp a little bit, Mike.
Oh, vamping is hard. Because now that I have the new camera.
Yeah, and the one day you saw me running the board, you were like, "Oh my God, there's a lot of clicking going on there."
Yeah, there's things to do.
Okay. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Don't know much about the Music Box, but right there, an example of a creator that put out a cool comic. And then Gerard Way is the lead singer to My Chemical Romance.
I know the group, but I did not know who was the lead singer.
Or as one of my daughters would say, MCR, Dad. It's funny. My Chemical Romance was real popular for a while. Then they went away, and then MCR came back. Okay. And my daughter, absolutely loves them.
Yeah, in the early 2000s was when My Chemical Romance was out.
Oh, wait, hold on. So My Chemical, Gerard Way was, I think he still is. I think Wesley Snipes made a comic, which is just his version of Blade, but he kills vampires that are legally distinct vampires. Got it. He was in a band. Gerard Way was in a band. That's right. Okay. Gerard Way, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, in James' Chemical Romance. That's right. It was in Chemical Romance. That's right.
People are just calling out my.
Shake it, Mike. Shake it. There you go. Those freaking buttons. Anyway, I think the key thing he did. This is true. Gerard Way interned for Marvel Comics too. Yeah. It's true. We all pile on Mike. Facebook user Anonymous says we all pile on Mike. We're not sure who that is, Mike.
Bad thing.
Feel free to pile on Mike anytime. Action film director John Woo also wrote Seven Brothers, published by Virgin Comics in 2006. The point is, thank you, by the way, on that one, Lugo. I think the point on all of this, Mike, is that there are lots and lots of famous people who would love to make comics, right? Actors love to make comics. Directors love to make comics. They might not have the same preconceived notion of who they should collaborate with. They may not be sure of who to collaborate with. You could be the guide for that person, right, Mike? You've said there's a couple famous people in your midst, in your neighborhood. Isn't there a couple famous people?
Yeah, we have a few people that live around the area. Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant, right? Yeah, I didn't want to name him, but since you did.
Maybe we can get him on the show.
Redheaded Ed, Pie on Mike. Maybe I heard that wrong.
Yeah.
No, it's Pile on Mike. Yeah, Mike, why don't you ask him when he's walking his dog, just be like, hey, Mr. Oliphant.
Would you like to be on comic book school?
Would you like to be on comic book school? Now, speaking of Mike, we're about to kick off our first thing. We're not going to do trivia tonight because I wanted to do a new segment that I didn't tell Mike anything about. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready. Hit me.
All right, so here we go.
Pie on me.
All right. This is the first episode, the first installment, rather, of what I'm calling Mike TV. This is the time where we choose what Mike will watch on television next week.
Oh, no.
That's right. So let's turn the music off. There's no fade down for the music. It's like either on or it's off. All right. So you, the audience, is going to vote what show Mike has to watch. There are two shows that I've selected. They are free and easy for Mike to watch, and he will report back. Do you accept the challenge, Mike?
I accept the challenge.
All right. So, audience, I'm going to show you the image and then read the description, and then you will vote on which show Mike has to watch this week. All right. Flight 666. Unseen forces attack the passengers and crew of an international flight. As the people fight to stay alive, they realize that the unseen forces are the spirits of murdered girls. The spirits try to stop their killer, who is on board the plane.
I think I'm going to have to put a caveat on what I'm going to watch.
There you go.
Horror movies.
Flight 666. So
horror movies I'm not going to watch barely through my eyes. It'll be watched.
You are good, but I will choose some others. I did not know that you were horror averse, but this is the movies that I've chosen. And so get ready, everybody. Tell us what you're. Hold on. All right, there you go. Okay, second movie option: Navy SEALs versus zombies.
I hope that one gets voted for, because I will watch that one.
A team of Navy SEALs quickly discovers it is facing a growing horde of zombies when it is set into a city in Louisiana to find the vice president after contact is lost.
Yes, well,
so Navy SEALs versus zombies. All right, everybody. I'm going to need your votes now on which movie Mike needs to watch. So, by the way, Anthony says I was a production designer on that one, so it's either Flight 666 or Navy SEALs. Has Mike seen Velocipastors yet, though?
I have not seen that one.
You have not. That might come on one day. Way to go, Anthony Pierce. All right, so we have one vote for zombies all the way. And it's not just zombies, redheaded Ed. It is Navy SEALs versus zombies. We have a counter, Anthony Pierce for Flight 666. Sharknado. I don't think that was one of the options. Navy SEALs rescuing the Veep sounds compelling. It certainly does. Like somebody was like, we need to step this up. It's the Veep, the vice president. Navy SEALs versus zombies coming in hot.
All right.
Right now. Get those Navy boys. All right. You're getting some support for the Navy SEALs. Lugo gives you, what is that? Is it an emoji? Oh, that's a seal.
It's a seal. Okay.
That's a seal. Raise the stakes, but not too high. Look at that guy's expression. That's the anchor image. At least Flight 666 looks great. I think I saw. He's not sure. I think I saw Flight 66. It's not a horror movie. It's just a horrible movie. I won't watch Navy SEAls versus. I won't watch Navy SEAls versus zombies. So Mike should. So Mike, it looks like you got only one vote for Flight 66. You also got one vote for Sharknado.
I got to write this down. Navy SEALs versus zombies.
All right. So, guys, you guys let me know what you think of this segment. This is a first-time segment of which movie Mike should watch on Mike TV. What do you think, Mike?
I like this segment already.
And I will look forward to. I have to tell you, like, I have an obsession with really bad movies like this that are super high concept. I absolutely love this.
Now, have you seen these movies?
These are my Roku playlist.
Okay, all right. So you haven't seen them yet.
I was clarifying that Flight 66 was my film, but I vote for the zombies. Okay. Flight 666 didn't even get voted on by Anthony Pierce, who worked on it. He got paid to see it. So he's actually saying that you should watch Navy SEALs. So, Mike, you will watch what is it? Mike gets to be the canary in the coal mine here. That's right. If Mike chokes out from lack of oxygen, we're all dead.
This is going to be fun.
All right, Mike, that's the wrap for the show. I just want to remind everybody that we will be live at New York Comic Con in October. Is that too loud?
That is too loud. You can't hear what you're saying.
I never know if it's out. They don't give you any volume control. So we'll see you. Please put it into your queue. And also, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, because Mike and I derive our self-worth from all of your comments here, and we need to hear from you. So we will see you next Tuesday. We have some guests scheduled over the next couple of weeks, so we didn't forget about that either. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Those freaking buttons. That's right. We're going to end the stream